The Rise of Palestine. Introduction. Welcome back to my channel. Today we will be talking about the rise of Palestine, a topic that has been in the news headlines for years. Palestine has a rich history, from its early beginnings to the present-day events. In this video, I will walk you through the timeline of Palestine's history, from the early years to the rise of the Palestinian Authority. The partition of Palestine and its aftermath. One chief theme in the post-1948 pattern was embattled Israel and a Palestinian community in conflict. After World War II, Britain made clear that it would leave Palestine, a mandate which it had administered since 1918. The United Nations took up the question. In November 1947, it recommended the partition of Palestine into an Arab and a Jewish state. Although accepted by the Jews, the decision was rejected by the Arabs and was followed by civil war in Palestine. When the British mandate expired on May 14, 1948, the Jews proclaimed the independent state of Israel. The Arab states invaded Palestine, but their armies were defeated by numerically inferior Israeli forces, which expanded their territory beyond that allotted to them by the UN partition plan. Palestinians fled or were expelled from the territory that became the State of Israel, and the remaining territory was occupied by neighboring Arab states. After the 1948-49 Arab-Israeli War, the Palestinian population that remained in Israel overwhelmingly became Israeli citizens. Israeli Arabs were granted some degree of civil rights, including freedom of worship, education, and association, and they were legally entitled to equal treatment with Jews. In reality, however, until 1966, they lived under a military jurisdiction that imposed severe restrictions on their political options and freedom of movement. Israeli Arabs had the right to vote and were represented in the Knesset, but the Knesset and the government regularly ignored their needs and interests. PLO's rise as a revolutionary force. As a result of the 1967 war between Israel and its Arab neighbors, Israel occupied the West Bank and the Gaza Strip, territories that had been designated for the Palestinian Arab State in the UN Partition Plan of 1947. The Palestine Liberation Organization, PLO, which had been established in 1964 as an umbrella organization representing various Arab groups, became the main body claiming to represent the Palestinians and their rights. Under the leadership of Yasser Arafat, the PLO promoted the Palestinian cause through guerrilla attacks on Israeli targets and through diplomatic activity. Palestinians and the PLO in Jordan. Jordan had administered the West Bank since 1949, and by 1967, there were more than 1 million Palestinians in Jordan, including those who had become citizens. After the 1967 war, Jordan expelled the remaining PLO guerrillas from its territory, and the PLO began to assert its authority in the occupied territories. In the early 1970s, the PLO turned to Lebanon as a base of operations. Thousands of Palestinians fled to Lebanon to escape the conflict with Israel, creating a large population of refugees. As the PLO became more active in Lebanon, it was drawn into the country's complex political and sectarian conflicts.